Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to make some wax seals with you today. If you're new and you're just joining, I usually do wax seal lives on Thursday, and I am planning to do one tomorrow, but I'm doing a few extra lives this week because I have my subscription box. The Wax Seal Club has a brand new stamp. So I wanted to show you this stamp, show you what you can make with it. We're going to be doing the pour and scrape method today, which is two-toned sills. So let me know how your day is going. Let me know what you've been up to, where you're watching from. I can see Mary is here and Kimmy's here. Teresa's here from Denver. Cindy's here and Trish. Welcome, everyone. So I think this is going to be really fun. So in the box, it comes with one stamp and 3 wax sticks. So the 3 wax stick colors that come in this box are these 3, which are going to be really great, especially for doing this two-toned method. So I'm thinking we'll do white as what we pour in, and then we'll press it into these 2 colors, but we can experiment and see. And the stamp itself is this cute little mushroom and fern stamp. It's a little rectangle, and it has this really cute little frame around the edge. I have noticed when I've done pour and scrape seals before that sometimes it's a little bit tricky. It has been in the past to do lines that they come out when you scrape it. So this is going to be really good because I have not done this method with this stamp yet. So we're going to learn as we go and learn together. So supplies that you need to do this technique is you need a stamp. The deeper the engraving, the easier it's going to be, especially if you're a beginner. And so you need a stamp and you need a handle for your stamp for this. We don't want just the stamp head. So I'm going to put that on. And your first box with the Wax Seal Club, you do get this. Thank you, Mary. Mary always reminds me to minimize so you guys can see better. Thank you, Mary. Okay, so we need a stamp and our handle. I also have here a marble pad that I'm using, and underneath here is parchment paper. So those are my surfaces. I've got my sealing wax, and I've got them heating up. First, I have brown, brown, the terracotta, and the white. So those are the colors that I have for today. And the other things that I have are some spatulas. So you're going to need one cold spatula, which is here. And then I'm going to flip my camera so you can see it. This is a candle warmer, and on it I have 2 spatulas, and that stamp is just holding them in place. But anytime I'm grabbing these hot spatulas, they've been sitting on this candle warmer and they're getting hot. So just know that it's not going to be in the shot, but they're getting hot, and you need to have 2 hot and 1 cold. So and the last thing, paper towels. So I'm going to get a few paper towels out. Kimmy says, enjoying the fall weather here, headed to Christmas stores that fill a small town near us. It's opening day. Oh, that's so fun. Actually, today felt very fall. It was very cold. I had a sweater on earlier and I had wool socks on. And then at like 10:30, I was like, nope. And then took all that off and back to normal because it's still too hot. It's going to get up to 80 today. So kind of fall-ish, more summer. Okay, so I want to start with white. So I learned this technique at the beginning of the year. It's developed by Catherine Hastings. She's the one who made it up. I would say if you're just starting, if you've never done this, only do 2 colors. You can do this technique with as many colors as you want, but I would stick to 2. And honestly, I often stick to 2 most of the time just because it's tricky. But the first thing that we want to do before we can start is we need to heat this stamp up. So this needs to be warm so that when we push it into our first color, the wax will actually stick to it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to see if I can move my little candle warmer a little bit closer. So a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to put my stamp on here, and I usually like to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to take it off, and then I'm just going to feel how hot it is, and I can feel that it's not warm enough. And I'm going to tilt these so those handles are out of the way. You want something that's not going to burn your hand, but you need it warm enough so the wax will actually stick to it, right? So another 5 seconds, and this is feeling pretty good. Even if I keep holding it here, it's not going to burn my hand. It's warm, but it's not going to burn me. Okay. So from here, I'm going to take my white and I'm going to pour some, and I can tell my white is pretty hot because of how runny it is. I'm going to press and push. And that leaves, what we're trying to do is get all of the design filled with white. And this is where I should have had my paper towel ready. Hopefully I don't drip wax all over me. I have my paper towel and I can wipe off the spatula because it's hot. It'll just wipe right off. Uh-oh. Okay, it was frozen for a second. Hopefully that wasn't too long that it was frozen. I'm going to switch spatulas to another hot one. And kind of keep scraping this off till I get as much as I can. So you can see the white is just in the design and it's also on the edges. So I can, if the stamp isn't too hot, you can just pull it off. If not, you'll have to kind of wipe it off with a paper towel, or like this. I'll just go with my finger and scrape that. Now the next step, I turned off my glue gun. Before we scrape with cool, I always just like to do a double check of this wax temperature, my second color, and it's looking a little warm, so it's off, which is going to be great. But I'm going to take this cool spatula and I need to get all the areas that aren't the design, all that white residue of wax that's still there, I need to get that off. So I'm scraping, and I'm trying to do this really gently because I don't want those two lines to come up. That's been with other stamps where they have kind of those two white lines. It's happened to me so many times where there's just like an outline around the edge of the sill, it'll pop up in this step of the process. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but if it does, we'll figure out how to fix it. So you can kind of spend as much time as you want on this step. From here, I'll usually kind of wipe it off on my paper towel, and then I'm going to call that good. It's not, there's still like a little bit up here, but it's not enough that, like, I could try to get a little more of that, but it's not too bad. From here, this sealing wax is usually dried by now, so I can move that over. And then I want to do my second color. So this is where I need the marble. So I'm going to do the marble, and I have the terracotta color that comes in this box, and I was going to do it in the middle, but I'm like, I should do it on the side so I have room. You can see there's some bubbles forming. Bring you guys a touch closer. And I'm going to pop those with a lighter really quick. And then I'm going to press. And I'm going to try to center it even though I'm not looking straight down at it. And then just check again for any bubbles. There are some around the edge. And then that's it. So, and then this, I think when I first started, I immediately wanted to like see it. And so I would never let it cool enough time. But what I usually do is just leave it here while I'm making the whole next seal. And by the time I'm ready to press it, or right after I do, I can take this one off. So this does need a lot of time to cool because we heated up the metal and we've got hot wax in there. So we want to let it cool. So I'm just going to set this to the side a little bit. Nikita's here. Welcome. Created Artworks is here. Amy, welcome from Minnesota. You're having the same weather as I am in San Jose, California. Yep. Same weather today. It still feels summery, but it feels nice. I love that stamp you design and can't wait for the October box. Excuse me. Yeah, so this stamp, we're going to make another one. We're going to try it. Well, let's turn this back on. I was going to show you, but I'll show you everything that's in the box because there's some really fun bonuses too. So if you're new or you haven't joined, I'm going to add the link for you to be able to join. It's every other month you get a box that has 1 unique wax stamp and 3 sealing wax sticks. And there's always a bonus. So if you order by tomorrow, Thursday, you'll get the early bird bonus. I kind of want to do one more in brown and then go to pink. So let me just see if these, okay, my wax is looking pretty decent. So I have another one here. And I'm going to put my handle on. This handle's chipped, but doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put this on my warmer again. I would love to know if you've tried this technique. I think it's so fun, and it was so frustrating when I couldn't do it and I really wanted to do it. I'm gonna have to leave that a little bit longer. I realized when I turned off, I have a power strip with all my glue guns. I turned it off to cool down the wax, and it also turned off this warmer, and I really just don't want this turned off. So I might actually plug this into the actual wall instead of the power strip. But let me know if you've tried this yet. If you haven't, I'd love to know what's holding you back. That feels pretty good. It's not super hot, but it's not super cold either. So I'm going to try to do this, the push and press a little bit higher here so that it's out of my working space a little bit. So white wax. I'm also working on a little bit of a smaller table today. And so things are feeling squishy. And then I have my napkin here, and then I'm just going to do a scrape. So this one scraped off a lot different. If you remember the first one, it was just like super clean scrape, and that has to do with the wax temperature. So this white wax is not quite as warm as the last one was. And you can see, I don't know if you can see up here, there's a little pocket here. A little bit of a little air bubble pocket where the white wax isn't at. And so you don't want your wax to get too hot, but you also don't want it boiling and super runny because then it's hard to get it to come out of the stamp. So we can just pour a little bit on. And then this one I've been using for a minute, so it's not really that hot anymore, so I need to change it. And do a few more passes with this other one. I do like these art spatulas. On Amazon, if you just type in metal art spatulas, you can get a set of 5. And so it's nice because then I like the 2 tall, long, skinny ones for scraping, and then kind of the short, stubby one for the cold scraping. So this is looking decent. I need to do the final clean. Before that step, I do want to test my wax again. And it's looking okay. I might turn it off for just a second. Had a few bubbles in it. Okay, so now cold scrape. First, I usually clean off the edge. So that's all the way cleaned, and then we'll go to scrape here. Because this wax wasn't as hot, I'm interested to see if we accidentally scrape some of it out of the design. Because that can happen. And I mean, we're barely getting any off. It's very minimal what's actually coming off of the seal. And this will scrape up your stamp, but it's not like you won't be able to use your stamp anymore. You can still use it, and it's kind of surface level scratches, but they are there. So If you're like, I don't want to scrape up my stamp, then only do it with ones that you're okay doing that with. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I got most of it, and I can kind of clean it off here, make sure the sides are clean, and then I can put it into my next one. I have tried this, some with really good success, some with really big fails too. I feel like that's the story of this technique is that, and I feel like I still have fails now. So it's not like you're totally just better at it, but sealing wax string. But it does take time, and the more you practice, the better you get at it. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna pull this off really quick. I'm gonna turn my sealing wax back on. So usually you can just pull from here, but if it's not coming, there we go. And we can see. You guys hear that sound? Oh my goodness, it's so cute. This is my first time doing this technique. This is also a little bit of a darker color, so I don't know if you can see in these two corners, there's like a little bit of white residue, so I could have scraped that a little better, but overall, not too noticeable. Um, and our white got in pretty well. There are a few little bubbles right here with the white. So let's try this one. We're going to do another one in the terracotta. And I'm not in a super rush that I have to press it right away, but I do want to press it soon. I'm going to try to get this one better centered. Normally when I make sills, I like to be standing and I like to be able to sit down or like look straight down on the seal. So that one turned out pretty good. No bubbles, so we just have to let that cool for a little while. And let's make some more. I was going to look at the question. Cheryl said, looking forward to getting my box. I'm so excited. Thank you for getting one, Cheryl. Wendy's here. Welcome, Wendy. When you warm your seal, it makes it easier to scrape off because mine never scrape off that easy. Yes. So being able, so when you do the first scrape, when this is like filled with white wax, the very first scrape, having that be easy is because this is warm because you've put it on the candle warmer, and also you have warm sealing wax. I would say I would lean a little bit more to hot wax versus not hot enough wax. I think it's better to be a little bit hotter. But then it should scrape off. The other thing that can happen sometimes is the longer you wait, excuse me, the longer you wait to like actually scrape it, sometimes it kind of dries on here, and then that makes it hard to get it to scrape too. So you want to be kind of quick. Anders says, same Amy, I'm happy when it works. Love the mushrooms. Love it. Yes. I think they're so fun. Okay, so let's try pink. So I'm going to unplug the terracotta color. And this pink, you can see it here. It's called Petal Pink. It's new to my shop. It's close to the blush, but it's got a little bit more of like a purple tone to it, just barely. So, but it's still a really beautiful pink color. So I've got that one plugged in, and I've got my white plugged in, and I just want to test my white temperature. That looks great. So at this point, what I want to do, sometimes I was just going to scrape this off, but sometimes it can show up in your seal, like on the edge. So I'm just going to scrape that off and make sure this is clean. This is the first one I used. So by the time I did this one and made my second one, now this is cool enough I could use it again. So if you don't have two of the same stamp, you could even just have two stamps kind of in rotation, and that should work really pretty well. So I'm going to put that on the warmer again. And I see a question from Sue. New at this method, how do you change color of wax with glue gun? Yes, that's a great question, and one that people ask a lot. So There's a few different ways that you could do it, Sue. So first, you can use, grab one. You can use hot glue. So if I'm going to start with pink, then I can run hot glue sticks through, and it might be only one hot glue stick or it might be a few, and then you can put in your second color. So that works. It doesn't work well with super dark colors. I feel like this brown, it would probably be okay, but like reds, blacks, navy, it's like you're never getting that color out all of the way. So I usually recommend getting a couple glue guns. So you could have one, like this is my glue gun for white, and I never put another color in here. I have one that's just for vellum. Well, I have one for every color, but when I very first started, I had one just for vellum. And then I kind of had like 5 glue guns that I would rotate colors out by season. So it's fall time, so I'd be doing fall colors, then I'd rotate to holiday, Christmassy colors, then to Valentine's, and so on. Or you could, if you really love pink and you're always using pink, sorry, I'm getting over a sinus infection. If you're always using a certain color, have a glue gun for that. Or you could have a glue gun for all light colors, one for all your dark colors. But yeah, I will say that like even this will help get it out, but it's not going to get everything out every single time. Like sometimes it gets it all the way out and you're good to move on, but sometimes it's really not. Like it takes, you've tried like 8 glue sticks and there's still traces of that color. So it's one of the not great things about glue guns is that changing colors is not so easy. Where using a spoon, it's a lot easier. Do you have a different glue gun for every color? If not, how do you change color? So yeah, same question for Tammy. I do have a glue gun for every color, but I'm a little bit obsessive. So I know that's not normal for everyone. So I think having like a batch of them and you kind of rotate the colors out, or having like some glue guns for light colors, some for dark, I think that would work really well. I tend to always have too hot of wax. What signs do I look for to know if my wax is a good temperature? It's a good question. Okay, so let me show you, since we were chatting, let me show you this white wax okay, so when I pour it, can you see how it's kind of holding its shape? It's spreading a little bit, so it's a little bit warm, but it's not like running everywhere. Like when it won't hold its shape at all is a good sign that it's too hot. And like also think about like the consistency of it. Like we want it to be more like honey. When you're like squeezing it out, that's usually a good temperature is more like a honey versus like syrup. If it's running out like syrup, that's like way too hot and it's way too runny. The other thing that you can look for is bubbles. So if you see a lot of bubbles as you're pouring it, then you know that's too hot too. So those are kind of my 2 tips for that. Okay, let's do one in pink. So again, we're going to put this on here. And you can see my little candle warmer is getting kind of, maybe you can't see, it's getting kind of dirty. So at the end, you just want to wipe everything off with a paper towel, and that will usually just get all of that wax off. Let's see, a little bit more to warm it up a little bit more. Okay. Yes. Okay. A little bit hot. Sometimes when I've done this where you set it on and then you a little bit forget about it because you're doing something else or getting something else ready. Sometimes if it's way too hot, I'll just set it aside and choose a different stamp because I've found when this metal is too hot where it could like, I mean, it's not going to burn me, but you can just tell it's like more hot than normal. Um, then that's usually when I get problems with like the white getting stuck in here and not attaching to the second color or it not peeling off, like lots of things like that. So I'm going to take my white wax now and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pour it a little higher so it's not in my workspace. I would say this wax is a little too hot, Tammy, or was it Tammy? Yes. You see how it kind of pooled funny? It didn't really hold its shape. It's a little on the hot side. It's going to be okay because because it can handle, for this technique, it can handle being a little bit hot. And you can see even bubbles are forming now, which I wonder if that also affects the bubbles on the white portion. Next thing, you see how this is like not, it did come off now, but it kind of cooled. So then it made it kind of hard. So really you want to immediately press it in and then immediately start scraping so that you don't run into that issue. I've got a little pocket here. So I can either, what I did last time was I can pour right onto it. I could also just pour more wax like this and do that again, and then scrape again as well. And you still have some here, so you can also like go back over it if there's a little section that needs more. You can keep pulling the wax over the design to make sure that it's totally filled. I think my next thing that I want to work on with this technique is really getting better. You see how there's like these little bubbles in the white wax on the bottom line? So that's kind of what I'm like, I need to figure out how to get those a little better. I'm not sure if that's hotter wax, pressing down harder, or what, to really get the white to go into the engraving all the way. But that's one thing. So even when you've kind of got it figured out, there's still ways to improve. So I kind of got things off the side. I'm just going to use a paper towel and clean it now. And I'm going to check my pink. So I've got my pink heating up now. That looks pretty great. Can you see how there's bubbles? There's bubbles in it. So it's a little hot. So I'm going to turn that off while I'm doing my cold scrape. So here we go. And we're just going to go over the whole thing. And again, it's like you're hardly getting any off. So let me know in the comments if you get the Wax Seal Club box. It's such a fun one. And it's the other thing that I really love about it is that it's very affordable. I've tried to keep the price at a really good price. So it's like all the things that you're getting are, you're spending less than what you would spend on just one stamp in my shop. So it's a great deal, especially if you want to be, if you're collecting stamps. But this one's so fun. The mushrooms are very fall. I don't know if any of you guys follow, there's a couple artists on Instagram. One is, her name is Sipster. That's her handle. And then the other one, it's like Norwood Folk or something like that. I'll have to find it and tag it. But they always do so many mushroom crafts. And so when I was designing this, part of the inspiration came just from seeing so many cute little mushroom stamps they were doing that I was like, I want to do something like that. So here's this one. We're ready to go into the pink. And I just want to take, so one thing that can happen if your secondary color isn't quite warm enough. Okay. Well, I'll say that in a second. So I can feel if I keep pulling on this, I'm going to break my handle. I can feel it's just going to pop. So what you can do is you can take the cold spatula and you're going to go underneath it and just press, and you can kind of come at a different angle and pop it off. And that one went flying. The one thing I don't love about that is it usually kind of makes the bottom of your seal, leaves a little mark, but no one ever sees that side, so it's not a big deal. Let's see if this one worked. There we go. It did. It's so cute. So for multicolor, I do plan to attempt that. Let me know if you want to see that one live. But I'm like, it would be so cute to do, you know, the tops of the mushrooms a color, the stem a different color, different shades of green for the leaves, and then something different for the frame. So that would definitely be a lot of work, but it would be so cute. Okay, let's do press our pink, and then I'm going to check the comments. Okay. Pop all of those bubbles. All popped. And then I'm going to press. I'm going to try to get it centered. And this side, I'm just going to go over it. It looked like there was a bubble, but there were a few there. Sometimes the bubbles are like hard to see, like you don't necessarily see them, but it is good to pop because the heat rises. So as it's cooling, the bubble might appear. Let's let that one cool. And I'm going to turn my wax back on. Let's see. Kimmy gets the box. Trish gets the box. I haven't received mine yet. My daughter joined too, so we have fun doing them together. That's awesome. They're actually we're going to actually ship a bunch of them tomorrow. They're going to all ship by next Tuesday, but we have a bunch ready already, so we're going to ship them out a little bit early. I love the wax seal boxes. Yes to multicolor. Yes, I'd love to see it live. The first rubber stamp I bought many years was a stack of mushrooms. Oh, I love it. That's so cute. They're always worth the minimal cost and a great way to increase my collection. Yes, that was justification. You need them, Amy, right? We don't need them, but they do bring a lot of joy, and they're really fun. And it's fun to be creative. Let's do another pink one to try that out. Yeah, I think with doing multicolors, the one thing, if we look at it, is like you have to X-Acto in the different colors. So I'm like, maybe the whole mushrooms and the stem would just be like mushrooms one color, and then the different leaves a few shades of green, and then the frame a different color. But yeah, it's like cutting it out and putting it back in and putting it into the second color. It's a much more intensive process. So I do have some more fun lives planned for this week. We're going to be doing glitter sills, so different types of glitter sills, which I really love and think are fun. A wax sill like chain to add to a gift, which will be really cute. And then some hot glue sills as well. And now this multicolor one. So we'll see which, we might swap the hot glue or the glitter one for the multicolor. Okay, so hot wax, hot stamp, press and pull. And then I need my little paper towel. And then I'm just going to scrape that off. So I need my next hot one. So I usually just do, I don't know, 2-3 scrapes. I want to get some of those big pieces off this edge. That one was like a little bit messy and stringy. But really, it's like there's only so much you can scrape off with these hot ones. It's that cold scrape that gets it totally clean. So there's that. Let me check on, and I spilled white wax from this little napkin. I'm going to toss that one. Let's check our pink wax. That's looking pretty great. I think we'll leave it. I get the boxes and I love them. I can't wait to receive it. I'm so excited. Hi, Charlene. Welcome. Okay, so now we're doing our cold scrape. If you're just joining, we're doing the pour and scrape method with the new stamp from the October Wax Seal Club box. So we're just testing this out. And this was my first time. I had thought about maybe making some prior to the live, but I've just been making wax seals all morning. And I wish I could say that that's like every morning I do that, but it's not every morning. but it was really fun. So I have some fun things to share for the next few days, different ideas and ways to use this stamp. One new kind of tool or product that I've been trying is nail chrome. So I'm going to be having some with something fun that's coming up. Um, and so tried it out today with this. So I'm excited to show you the results of that. Okay, it's looking pretty clean. And so I'm going to go kind of clean off the edges. So the thing that's really fun that's coming, obviously, I want everyone to get the Wax Seal Club box. I got a mess here. But this is the first time I'm doing it. It's a one-time holiday gift box. So it's like a one-time box that you can buy, and it can be as a gift for you. That one was kind of hard to get off. Or a gift for someone else, but it's not a subscription box. It's not stuff that's in the subscriptions. It's totally own thing. But yeah, it's going to be the end of October, so it's kind of a pre-order. Oh my goodness. It's going to be fun. So I'll give more details about that soon. It's so cute. I love it so much. I love the little white frame. I'm excited to try this with multiple colors. Again, still having issues. Let me know what you guys think. Still having issues with the white. You guys see this? It's like not filled in here. There's a few little bubbles, but overall, I would say that's pretty happy with that one. But we got to press the one we just had. So this one. And I'm never in too much a rush because we heated up this metal so much that I'm not too concerned if I take time to look at the one I just finished, you know. But you also don't want to let it sit too long. I'm just gonna, looks like there's one little bubble in the middle. See if I can. One thing with rectangle and square stamps is some people don't like them because they are like, well, it doesn't make a square or a rectangle, which is true because it makes the outside of the seal is basically just rounded. It's more like an oval shape. It's only the inside where you'll get that rectangle shape. Okay, where did our pink one go so we can compare? Just got here after work. Welcome, Nora. I get the Wax Seal Club boxes. I love it. I really like the pink. I do too. So beautiful. Love the layered look. Thanks for the tips. Heating the wax to pop bubbles. Yes, that helps a lot. Oh, there was a question here. I thought it was the same one. So I do like doing that, is popping the bubbles when they're too hot. I just noticed where I had scraped this off, there's like a teeny tiny little hole in the corner now. So I think what I could do is just kind of melt that over. And then I'm going to place it back onto the marble. Maybe that made it worse. Did it make it worse? Yes. Now there's a notch there, but oh well. So maybe I should just left it. Catherine said, you have shared your work with Catherine Hastings. I can't afford her. I appreciate your reasonable cost. Yeah, I recently did a penny with Catherine, and her stamps are definitely a different price point, and a lot of it has to do with the quality of engraving and the 3D details. It's very detailed and beautiful designs, and kind of heirloom quality. So, but yeah, I appreciate you being a customer of mine. I do like, this is the type of hobby that if I wasn't selling this, I would be buying a lot of it, right? And so I want to keep it affordable for people to actually be able to collect the stamps and stuff. Love all the colors with this stamp. Me too. Yeah, let me know if you're more pink or brown. So I think I did kind of, I mean, I didn't want a hole in the seal, but then now I kind of, do I try it one more time or will that make it even worse? If I try to meld it together, I'm like, maybe if I put the stamp on it. and then try to fix that. Well, I don't know if that's helping anything or making it worse. We will see. The last one is this pink one. I don't know if that one's ready. I feel like it kind of helped it. It made it more square again, and now there's not a hole in the corner of my sill. I've never had that happen where I used this to get it off and then it created a hole that you could visually see on the front. So, but let me know what you think. The pink, petal pink or the terracotta, which one's your favorite? I like how much contrast this one has because it's darker, but I love pink too. So I'm like, I can't choose. I love them both. If you haven't yet joined the Wax Seal Club, I just want to show you really quick what the bonus is. So this is a bonus that's for everyone who is a existing subscriber, or if you're new and you order by the 9th, then you get these things too. So in the box, you can see you get the stamp. So it's all packaged up and pretty here, ready for you. Your first box, you get a handle with it. So that's there. And then you get the 3 wax sticks. So that's the colors we've been using, the pink, the terracotta, and the white. And then the 2 bonuses are, this is, I'm so sorry, a maker's mat. So it's a silicone maker's mat. So how we were working on parchment paper and doing like pouring here and pushing the wax, we were making all these pretty sealing pieces. You could do that on a silicone mat and that would work great. And the other bonus is this little fall card set. And this is so fun. I was actually making sills with this paper earlier today, and they're so cute. So it's 3 different cards, designs, but in total there's 6 cards that you get. But they're all just very fall and cute and match the colors of the wax. My favorite little detail here is with this one, you can see it's the same frame, like the outline frame on the stamp is the same on this card, and it's also the exact same shape here. So you can see it's like the same pattern is the cut of the envelope, which I think is a fun little detail. So if you order the box before, let's see, tomorrow, like the end of day tomorrow, then you'll get the bonus. And if you're existing, you automatically get it, which is really fun. Okay, let's check. That's all I wanted to show you from these. Let's check on that last pink one. I bet it's going to be cool enough that we can actually pull it off now. And then we'll have 2 of each. Okay. So let's see. I can feel, I'm breaking my handle. Like I can feel the wood snapping. So because I think that's the same one I was using earlier that I was like, I think I'm breaking this. So I'm going to just try a different one and see if that will pop it off. But I can also do the, ooh, this one is on there good. Okay, so we'll go this way. And also, if it's like, does not want to come off, you can always just wait more. Well, the seal popped off. Okay, this is interesting and has not happened before. So I've got that same situation. So I think what I needed to do was just wait. But because I'm on a live with you, I want to show it to you that we finished it, you know? But if we look at this, you see that. So this is probably something you might do. Who knows? If you get impatient like me, I'm going to scrape the rest of the wax off there. So I'm trying to think how I could fix this because this whole thing is coming undone. So I'm wondering if I can try the same thing where I put the stamp, another stamp back that's cool. And I'm wondering if I can heat the back. Maybe we'll try to smooth all of that out a little more. Heat the back a little bit and push it Oh, nope. I think I lost it. Yep. Well, so another thing that we could do, okay, I'm just like, let's try to salvage it. What if we cut out the rectangle and then we pressed it into another color? So what if we pressed it into the terracotta? So let me plug that in. We'll just finish this one and then we'll go. But I don't like when things mess up, but at the same time, I do kind of like it because it's like, well, this is really how it is when you're making your seals. So I have an X-Acto knife here, I think. If I don't have it, yes, I do. You guys would be so proud of me. I organized my craft stuff. It wasn't super messy because I had organized it only like 2 weeks ago, but I organized it today before I came up to make seals. It feels great. Everything's where it's supposed to be. Okay, so let's try this out. And we'll see. There's still a little bit here. Okay, I see Charlene had a question. Mine never stick that strong. Am I not pressing hard enough? I don't think they necessarily should be sticking that strong. I think it has to do a lot with like the temperature of the wax and like the temperature of the stamp. When it's so hot, it just takes a long time to cool. So it's always, I would say, if you're having a hard time getting it off, I would wait, leave it and work on something else. And if you're impatient like me, then you end up in a situation like this where you have to cut it out. Is the terracotta in the shop now? It is not, but it will be soon. So this color is available only with the Wax Seal Club box right now. But it will be coming. And the same with this petal pink, because it's a little bit different shade than. And this one I don't have that full corner in pink, but that'll be okay. All right, so we've just got this last corner that we're cutting off. And then, yeah, that's fine. You can just grab it. Okay, 1 second. I don't my husband's gonna walk in and he wants me to turn off the camera, but now I don't even know how to do it. He's just walking. It's not a big deal. Okay, so here it's cut. And I need to cut a little bit more. He's camera shy. Okay, so let's try this. Move my mat and my X-Acto knife. So then I'm just going to take this whole thing and put it back into here. And then I'm going to press it into the next color. But something that can happen when you're doing stuff like this is sometimes when you turn it, it might pop off. So this is sticking pretty good, but you don't want it to just fall into what you're working on. So I like to push it in and kind of just hold it. Like I'll hold it like this with my hand for a little while I'm getting the rest of my stuff set up so that my body heat can kind of heat that up. You could place the stamp on the candle warmer for a split second, but I would hesitate to do that because you don't want the metal hot that it starts melting the wax that you put in. You just want it warm enough that it will hold. So when it turns over, it won't flip. And I was like, I swear I just turned this. I'm like, I thought I turned this on and I think I switched it the other way. So we'll have to wait just a second. Let me know if you guys have any other questions on this technique or about the Wax Seal Club box. I guess this bumpiness doesn't really matter because we're going to be putting it in the second color anyway. And then you can just test it so then make sure it doesn't fall out. But yeah, today when I was cleaning out all my crafting stuff, I have this bin, if you haven't seen my lives before, that has all my wax seal stuff. I can show you with this camera. That's my bin. So it's got all my wax seal stuff in there because I don't really have a working space upstairs, but I like to be upstairs because it's good lighting and I like being up here. And I'm just gonna hold this in my hand for a second to warm it up. Um, but anyway, because we're gonna do later this week a wax seal chain, and I'm gonna put it on a gift. So I have just these boxes that are empty that I use for videos for gifts. Um, because I'm not always on top of it and have gifts on hand all the time. So anyway, I had to unwrap some Christmas ones to be able to do this one that I'm going to do with the wax seal chain. And it got me so excited for Christmas presents. Like, and I forgot one of them. I was like, this is so cute. I forgot we even made this. Um, so anyway, it put me right in the Christmas mood. So I'm really excited for Christmas seals. Let's see how. Okay, so this is a good way to show you. See how it's coming out in like a stream? It's not hot enough. So that's okay. So we just have to wait a second more. I'm such a Christmas girl. Any hints at what the December box might be? No. No hints, but it's gonna be really cute. There's a holiday wax seal club box. So this same box that's available right now is the October one, and since it's every other month, there will be the December one. Then I also have a holiday lettering box. But something that I think is really fun is I'm gonna be doing a holiday workshop. So it's gonna be a script and sew workshop week. So it's gonna be a full week long. It's only $15 and it's all Christmas lettering and wax seals. And so I'm getting all of that ready and will be available next week. But that's going to be so much fun. But anyway, yeah, I'm totally in the Christmas mood after I saw those seals and I was just like, this is going to be so fun. Okay. Let me get this. I think my lighter's almost out of all the fluid because it's not lighting, but that worked fine because. All right, so then now we'll have to say which we like best of the three options. Usually, because this whole thing, the rectangle part was just cooled, usually will come off. Okay, so I don't love it as much, but at least we saved it, right? Like it's still usable. I don't love it as much as just these ones. What do you guys think? But it's like I'm still going to use it, right? I'm not going to not use it. So it's better than having to toss it, I would say. Yay for the holiday workshop. That's going to be awesome. It is going to be so much fun. So I'll share the details about it. I have to build out the web page and add the new photos and stuff, but it's going to be really I'm looking forward to it. The last workshop was in July, which was also Christmas themed, but it was just wax seals. So this will be lettering and wax seals, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Love the brown and white. Not as good. Not too bad. Yeah, it's fine, but it's not ideal. So definitely that's a good way if you need to salvage it. I guess another thing we could have done to make it maybe look visually a little better, we could have just pressed it into pink again. And maybe it would not be like as exact as this, but it would maybe be better if we pressed it into pink. I don't know. But it's still okay. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. So tomorrow I haven't decided which live I'm going to do tomorrow, but I have like 3 and 4 planned. So plan on 1:30 tomorrow. If you're not on the text list, I send out a text every time. So text the word live to this phone number and I'll shoot you a text right before I go live so you can join us. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun week. I never got around to watching the July workshop I purchased. Can I pay to access that again? Yes. So I did create um, like a lifetime access for that. So let me show you. So here's the link to that if you wanted to get that. So that was the July one. I also have lifetime access to, I think it's the flower workshop. So, but anyway, it's going to be fun. I feel like this time of year is where wax seals really shine. And so it's great. Let me know if you have any questions. You can get this stamp with the Wax Seal Club box. Um, I've got things showing on the screen. There we go. You can get this with the October Wax Seal Club box. Um, we're sending them out by next Tuesday. And if you order by tomorrow, you get the bonus cards and the maker's mat. So I'll plan on seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, I'm excited to show you some more things we can do with this stamp tomorrow.